Shalom, when it's time for souls by giving no praise to Yahweh, by Shem Yahshua, by Shem Kakadash. Double honor to the Apostle Great Most, and an honor to you brothers doing the work of the Most on truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's raw name of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, or Yahweh. His raw name is Yahweh. His true name is Yahweh Shah, and when we pray Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Ba meaning in, meaning then Shem meaning name. This one's inspired by a conversation that I had with my Korean tutor, where basically I was just, I asked, I was like, look, man, I'll be watching certain of these shows, right? These Korean shows, whatever, what have you, right? And like, I'll be seeing certain things. I'm like, but wait, that ain't, that from what I had known, right, is, unacceptable in Korean society, whether it be like feminism or transgenderism or abortion or the alphabet people, right, just in general, right? To which she was like, you know what, of late, right, it's been really changing. Okay, public, they've even got like what's this word, they've even got a tea, right, that is famous now. Okay, and just made me think of the scriptures about wine. And one of the things that she said it was quick, but then she was like, but let's be fair, right? Same thing happened in the UK, right? 10 years ago, right? You talk about like these alphabets or whatever, what have you. 10 years ago, it was kind of like they were over there somewhere, okay? But through Esau's manipulation, right, this is now just everywhere, right? So basically, I was just doing, a little bit of research, trying to put a show together or whatever. But like, so this is from, where is it, UCLA School of Law, Mark Williams Institute. It's a public opinion, right, on this particular one, right? It doesn't have comprehensive anti-discrimination laws, because that's the thing with certain of these, and in the way that he has moved, right, is he's had to do, rather follow different paths into these different societies, okay? Because whereas like the alphabet people aren't necessarily promoted over there in the same way that they are here, guess what, a lot of the men look androgynous as hell, right? It's one of the things that that you see of that culture, okay? So it says no legal barriers, saying that there's young people more likely than older people to agree that those should be able to marry a person of their thing, right? And what that's once again through that media, right? Through that media machine that Esau has, right, which attacks the children. Okay, this is Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And regardless of whether it's the Western world or the Eastern world, you're basically seeing an attack on the children. Because when you have, and I think about a lot of how a lot of movements started from universities and stuff like that, indoctrination machines, okay? So basically pushing these ideologies and stuff on the children because they're a lot more malleable. Okay, one of the reasons as well that the way that the family structure has changed over the last however long, okay, and why is that? That is because it basically removes that protection, if you will, right? Removes that protection of the family, where it's like, no, actually, that's unacceptable. You don't do that, right? One of the reasons why mom goes to work and dad goes to work, because why? Then the school takes care of the child, right? And then the child gets indoctrinated by the teachers, right? And I think about that, man. It's like, yo, you'll be having your child or whatever, and your child's being taught by straight up, you know what I want to say, a Decepticon, as I call them, right? Being taught by straight up the Decepticon. And what kind of ideologies do you think that they're going to be teaching your child? Okay, so that's one of the reasons why this place, it's just got to go, right? Is there anything else I wanted in here? So previous surveys, right, have indicated that public opinion about those people is much more negative compared about other minority groups such as migrant workers and defectors from the north, right? So they're still very much against it as a whole, but that's what Esau does, right, he chips away at it, right? Scripture says this, right? It says Genesis 3:1, right? It says, now the serpent, right, was more subtle than any beast of the field. Right, now that serpent's representative of this Edomite today, okay? The beast being, the other heathen nations or whatever, right? So it's basically saying he was a lot more subtle, right? He was able to maneuver, and be more crafty, right, in the way that he does things, right? One of the things as well, right, about a serpent is that a serpent is patient, right? Serpent is patient and is willing to wait to attack, okay? But once again, it is going into the thing about how ultimately, this wine is being pushed throughout all the world, right? This is Daniel 8:25, just on that thing, of his policies and this thing. I had remember this speaking about patience, but I'll read it anyway. Now, this is originally talking about, Antiochus, however you say it, going into the fact that, I'll read it, right? But it was originally going into Antiochus, but nowadays you can use this for this current system, right? It's a similar model, right? It says, and through his policy, Daniel 8:25, and through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, right? By policy, saying, oh yeah, this is okay, right? Because as soon as you inscribe it in law, right, that you can live that lifestyle, which I'll grab that real quick. Guess what? People are gonna say, well, you can't say anything about them, right? Just like how back in the day you watch like old comedy shows, man, they used to be tearing one into these alphabet people, right? But nowadays, guess what? They can't do that no more, right? Because if they do that, guess what? They're gonna get cancelled, if you will. Why? Because it's on the books, right? To the end now, where you say you punch someone, get done for assault. You call them one of them alphabet words, and then you punch them. Yeah, it's over for you, man. You through, right? It's Isaiah 10:1. So woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, and allowing and giving protections to these alphabet people is an unrighteous decree, right? There is a reason why the law basically said, you look, man, if you see that, their blood shall be upon them, okay? Scripture says a little leaven of the whole lump. So that's and once again, and that's just it. Back in the day, right, it used to be just one or two that you may see in public or on the TV, but now it's like bloody everywhere, and it's he's shoving it down your throat, man, okay? And that's what's happened, and more people now, they're saying like 1 in 5 Americans identifies as one of the alphabet people, right? Whereas that wasn't the case before, right? So this place is just going to go, right? Yeah, and then what you call it goes into military service. So these individuals can get, because South Korea still has military service because they're still technically at war with North Korea. Basically goes into how you what was it saying? Basically, if you're one of them, or if you're a Decepticon, then you don't have to necessarily go into war, right? But that's about it, right? Do the military service rather. Again, and I saw this story, which it was just just madness. Kind of feels like the kind of thing that you would because you have all of these stories that come out in the news, and certain of them are just straight up made up, man, right? And this is one of them ones where allegedly it was some BS, man. I ain't even gonna read that, but this is the scriptures. Well, and the reason why I believe this was a made up story is once again to push and to normalize this madness, right? Because basically, allegedly, this is supposed to be some kind of Olympian who was dating a tranny. Okay, that's like I meant to say Decepticon, right? Who's dating a Decepticon, right? Just once again, just to normalize it. Because what do people do? They idolize these Olympians, these sports stars, these celebrities. When they're basically saying if a celebrity's doing it, then it's okay. Right, same thing. I think about Dave Chappelle. What was he? Yeah, he was getting on the alphabet people in his shows, but what's one of the things he spoke about? He spoke about how effectively he's happy. He had an alphabet person friend, right? A Decepticon friend. So then guess what happens? As a J, you look at that, you're like, oh shit, well, if Dave Chappelle's doing it, then it's okay. It's not okay. It's Revelation 18 from 3. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, right? The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right, and that wine is once again, it's not a literal wine, right? It ain't a governor, right? The governor, right? It's one of the wines that we drink here, right? But yeah, it ain't a glass of wine. No, it's talking about philosophies. Okay, this is Isaiah 29 and 9 on that. It says, stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They're drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. Like, so are you going basically being spiritually drunk? Because when you're drunk, right, you stumble, you fall, you can't think straight or whatever, what have you. And that's what he has basically pushed on these nations, right? And all have drunk, right? Now, especially in the leaders, some of the people, right, some of the older people are, especially the older people, are still trying to live life in their old ways. But what is Esau doing? Once again, he's attacking, right? He's attacking the youth, right? Through these philosophies, through Netflix. Like when I watch Netflix international shows and that, I'm like, yo, this is just some straight witchcraft machine. Okay, once again, pushing ideas and things that aren't necessarily accepted, right, in the third party country that it's Netflix has produced this show for. Okay, but what are they doing? They're breaking it down. This is Jeremiah 51 and 7. Behold, Babylon had so I said behold, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay, so they've been drinking of that wine, those philosophies. Habakkuk 2:15 says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbour drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Okay, once again, that drink representing philosophies, right? Esau's been giving it to these different nations, right? And he's been shoving it down Jake's throat, right? Because he wants Jake to go off. That's his main target, right? Because ultimately he don't care about anyone else. Okay, he's just pushing, pushing it on Israel. Okay, the real Israel, so that would scriptures talk about the accuser of thy brethren, right? And last one is Isaiah. It's like Ecclesiastes 10 and 1. Well, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Right now, Esau, right, he's a wicked judge, right? And so he's instructing his people, but he's instructing the people in wickedness, right, to their destruction, to their end, right? Because he's the man of sin. And what does it say? As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the rule of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein, right? And Esau basically being, the scripture says, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? Esau has used that power to present folly and witchcraft into the world, right? And as such, man, is bringing nothing but death into the world, right? So yeah, as always, Lord's will that was edifying. Till next time, we say shalom.